Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, My Kinda Art, with me, Ivan Florentino. For today's video, this is a very special video because it is the 25th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. This was actually unexpected and a surprise for me because I've been working on several Zelda videos these past few months, and this one I was actually almost complete, so I went ahead and put in some more hours, and here is a drawing of young Link, and eventually I'll be editing some of the other Kokiri kids. And these fairy kids are from The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, and this was all done with pen and colored pencil. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, please hit that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment, and let's get to some of this Zelda fan art and talk about one of my most nostalgic and favorite N64 games of all time. A little bit of a background on this drawing that I did. This is actually a magazine project that we had to do way back in middle school. I was, I think, in the 8th grade, and we had to do this magazine project, and I chose to do a strategy guide type of magazine. And one of the things that I liked doing was looking at the strategy guides and even the booklet from the games, and I was obsessed with the art. And me being an artist, I was always drawing this fan art, and it was just the perfect timing for this. But anyway, I decided to draw every single character from the Kokiri Forest because they just look really cool. And I even drew Adult Link with Epona, the Master Sword, and every single one of their fairies as well. And I remember the magazine didn't really last because I remember cutting out these characters, gluing them on some gold pages that I spray painted gold, and I knew it wasn't going to survive, so I remember I removed every single one, I cut around them, and I actually pasted them on to black paper, and this is how I preserved and kept them so far. And I remember years later when I finally started doing this channel, I uploaded me removing the background and cleaning up Link in Photoshop. And this is the first part of the video that you'll see here, is just me cleaning up Link. I outlined him in black pen and colored him with color pencil. And when I did that video, I never did a tutorial for it. So here it is. I've been removing the background from Link, and it's easy when there's a solid color, so I selected everything, just the black color, and deleted the background. It's that simple. I then used the pen tool to trace around the figure and get into the very detailed areas to remove anything that might look off and kind of round out some of those edges and make it as clean as possible. So if you have never done this before, if there's a solid background, whether it's white or any color, in this particular drawing it's black, it's easy to either use the selection tool, and it usually will grab the entire solid color, or you can even make a selection and delete the background by just hitting the delete. It's very simple to do, or if you want to be very intricate and detailed, you can use the pen tool all the way around the selected figure. If you use Control I to invert and then delete everything besides your selection, that's another way to do it as well. But to begin, you always want to make a rough cut of everything you don't need. And it's pretty cool zooming in and looking at all these sharp angles and things just look a little off, but it's pretty cool that I know I'm going to be cleaning all this up and making it look as clean as I could. Cleaning up here the Navi Fairy, and this is just one of those things that digital art helps you do when fixing traditional drawings. And just as a reminder, anyone who's brand new to my channel, since I love fan art and I'm an artist, I love taking a topic and doing an artwork around it and talking about it. I feel like I'm one of the few YouTubers who do this and I enjoy it. And let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoy these types of topics and videos. Since I had this drawing, and surprisingly I did not know that it's been 25 years since Ocarina of Time released. Time flew by. I was there when this game was released and it was super hype. This was very nostalgic to me, and I'm glad that this happened around the time that I was working on this type of Zelda video. So yeah, I'm very happy it turned out this way. Now for this step, this is the one where I like to use the airbrush tools just to soften things up and start erasing any type of rough edges. So here with Navi, I duplicated the layer, added some light blue just to give it that glow that she has, because she is a fairy. And I also added a little bit of that glow to Link's hand. And the layer that I duplicated Navi with the wings, I made it a little blurry to give it that effect that she's flying and that the wings are flapping. And I zoomed in on Link's face just to clean up a little bit of those black lines. They were a little too blurry. I wanted them to be a bit sharper. And this is where the eraser tool really comes in handy when you want to soften things up. And same thing with the clone tool. If you've never used this before, this is a tool that you select an area that you want to clone. For example, Link's skin that I use right here. And you start moving it over just like you would use the brush tool, and it starts tracing over it, and it keeps the same texture that you like so that everything looks even in terms of color and texture. Small details like the white in his eyes needed to be a bit brighter, and that made him look a bit younger as well. And notice that I keep zooming in and out because I do need to see how everything looks when it's all in front of me. And this is the time where I also added the shadows by using the burn tool. If you've never used the burn tool, this is a handy way to darken areas without affecting too much of the color. So what it does is that it burns the color like the green in his clothing, in his tunic, and underneath his hair, and it gives it that depth and shadow that the light is casting. And this makes it very easy to create that depth and contrast that we need between light and dark. Now for this last part of this video, when I did Photoshop, was going into the very fine details, like for example in his face, and cleaning up some of those sideburns as well in his hair, because some of it looked a little too thick. What I actually did for the final cleaning up, I actually transferred this PNG into Procreate and finished the remainder of the cleaning up. I made sure his skin was a bit darker just to match the original artwork that you see right here to your left, and just added a bit more of the outline that was missing towards the left side of his body and anywhere where it looked a little off. So before I finish off with a time-lapse video from Procreate, comment down in the section below if you guys are nostalgic for this game, and in the future there might even be a full-blown remaster or remake of this game. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more video game content and mixed media tutorials. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you later. Bye.